As you know, here on DC Breakdown, we care greatly about our veterans and keep you up to date on anything involving their service, care, and treatment. Our veterans expert, Dwayne Robinson, is CEO and president of Student Veterans of America. Today, he joins us to talk about his organization and to sound a warning for the colleges that are trying to dupe our vets out of money for services that will never be rendered. Mr. Robinson, good to have you joining us again. You know I'm madder than a wet hen about this. I mean, so far you got 4 colleges or 3?
We have one company and 3 colleges.
And the colleges are all under that company?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And so the college is in question, or at least the company in question, is going to be closing. So they're going to be shutting down. They're going to be, well, I can't say shutting down. They're going to be sold off. Mm-hmm. And so an environment of uncertainty exists. And so there are about upwards almost 10,000 GI Bill recipients. And there's this amount of uncertainty, but at the same time, they were recruiting additional veterans.
So stop. We already knew that they had gone out of business. They knew that they were in trouble financially.
Yes.
They knew that they were not on solid grounds, yet they still went and they still went to bases. They still went to try and recruit people.
Yes.
This is unconscionable.
It's in other industries, it would not be acceptable. So when we came out with our not recommended list, so many companies, so many businesses come out with a veteran friendly, and so that is now so diluted. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to sound an alarm and at least create awareness of what was going on, and we think we achieved that. And since that, there's been additional steps or additional issues that's been brought up, and they're now being addressed.
Now, were you getting calls directly from veterans, or were they talking to their members of Congress and then they called you?
Actually, they reached out to us. So when we initially put the company out there saying, hey, this is what's going on, so a sort of a warning to vets. And while we were actually speaking with Veterans Affairs and striving to get down next steps for those vets, they were contacting us, saying, "Hey, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to my GI Bill benefits? Will I be reimbursed? Will I be able to graduate, et cetera?" And so while we were answering those questions, other vets started reaching out to us and sending us pictures of these same institutions on base recruiting.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
And my concern is, back to something you just mentioned, is will their credits count? I mean, these kids, I mean, these students are, they're working for their credits. Are their credits now not valid? I mean, has the school lost its accreditation? I mean, I know it's a company that has all this. Are the schools still accredited? The
schools are still accredited. Mm-hmm. They actually still are able to receive GI Bill dollars. But we wanted to move fast because we didn't want to wait for a year and a half for government to put them on the list or to do an investigation. Mm-hmm. So what we wanted to say to our constituents and those outside of SVA chapters was, here's a warning, you may want to you may want to check this out before diving in, but we support, I'll make it clear, we support student veterans in whichever sector of education they choose to pursue higher ed in.
Wow, and we're dealing with how many chapters of the Student Veterans of America? There are about 1,000 chapters?
Yes, we're at 1,050 chapters, meaning we're on 1,050 campuses throughout the U.S. with about 400,000 student vets that are in these chapters.
And explain to us, the lay people like myself, what's it like when you're getting out of the service and you're transitioning back into life as it is here, and you're becoming a student. Explain to us how being a military, a former vet, and becoming a student is so different from me graduating from high school and then going to school, because these people are grown-ups and you're in school with these kids.
Yep. So I'll start at the very beginning. So when you look at how we're brought into the military, so in order to bring in individuals from 50 states with 50 different ways of operating, 50,000 mindsets, and bring them into make them into one cohesive unit, there's a rebranding. And the military is expert at doing this. And that rebranding takes place, and you begin to identify with your unit, with your team, the attributes and values that the military instills in you, you identify with, and eventually you begin to teach to those coming behind you. And so now comes the day you're going to transition, whereas in the military it's been all team, now it's individual. And so you, having a different worldview, now land on a campus, where here it was about team, it was about we're going to do this, etc. On a campus, it's an individual. You're no longer the infantry person, you're no longer the artillery person, you're no longer the military police. So now we have to be rebranded to go back into society. And if it's a bad transition, you end up with the military mindset on a campus or a university, which does not work. Right. Which totally does not work. So these are adult learners, what we call non-traditional students. They often have families. 85% are enlisted. 85% of those transitioning are enlisted. And a number of them, actually, when they went into the military, was not thinking college. So there are some issues there some hurdles they have to get over. And SVA, what we want to do is have a chapter at the college or university so that there's a soft landing, so they can go from one team to another team. There are buddies there that can help them with everything from tutoring to where you go to get signed up. This is where you're able to use the computers, and then if they have to work through mental or medical issues, that they know the steps to plug into that facility also.
I can recall being in school and loving to be around people like this who were older than me, because I learned so much from them. And I hope the students who are around these student veterans are really taking advantage of who these young men and women are and learning from them. Are there any specific colleges and universities that are better for a vet to attend than others?
There are a number, each chapter is different, but there are a number of colleges that's got it right. When you look at Florida State University, when you look at Arizona State University, University of Arizona, these are some of our larger chapters, and they just get it. UCF down in Florida, just to name a few. They get it right. They understand the value that vets bring to the classroom. It's not about whether or not they have PTS or not, or TBI, but it's what you brought up, Angela, the value they bring to a classroom. Right. And when you talk to the students around the student vets, they're happy to have these mature, older individuals to their left and to their right.
That's right. God bless him for being there. Dwayne Robinson, CEO and President of Student Veterans of America. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you on, and thank you for what you do for our vets.
Thank you. Thank you.